Yeah, there's the fun, but a lot of issues coming up too. This just into the 11 Alive newsroom less than 5 minutes ago. Jackson County EMC confirmed with us they have a little over 4,900 outages right now. In Gwinnett, they're at nearly 2,000. In Hall County, more than 2,200 customers without power right now. And in Jackson, nearly 500. Banks, almost 250 waking up in the dark. In Lumpkin County, a little more than 100 customers without power at the moment.
All right, Savannah, joining me right now on the phone is Terry Statham with Georgia EMC. Terry, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I am doing fine. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it on this Sunday morning at about 10 minutes after 9 o'clock. Give us an update on everything you know and where situations stand right now.
All right. Well, at this time, EMCs are reporting about 50,000 outages statewide, and those are divided pretty evenly among North Metro Atlanta, North Georgia, and Northeast Georgia. Where, as you know, the majority of the severe winter weather is happening now.
What is the biggest concern as we sit here right now and we're waiting for this to evolve and see where it's going, the combination of wind and snow as well? What really is making you guys greatly concerned as you sit and you watch this map?
At this time, the high winds are becoming as big a threat as the snow and ice accumulation. So there's a lot of concern with regard to that. Luckily, the EMCs began preparing for this storm early in the week, and they've been in discussions with co-ops in other parts of Georgia, who've not been impacted, and with co-ops in surrounding states in order to bring in crews and equipment to help with this. So in addition to crews coming from Middle and South Georgia, we've got crews coming from Mississippi, Tennessee, and even Kentucky. But to answer your question, in short, the high winds are really becoming a force to be reckoned with. But the EMCs, are currently doing damage assessment. They've got crews in the field. As I said, they've got crews coming in who are going to be helping removing trees and limbs from roadways so that they can get to power poles and power lines. So they have every available resource, to try and get folks on as soon as possible, because we know it's an inconvenience and we want to get the power restored as soon as possible.
So there are many people watching right now that live in Atlanta that don't quite understand exactly what an EMC is and how it's different from Georgia Power. Explain your role in the state as far as supplying power to people as opposed to, say, Georgia Power.
All right. That's a great question. Thank you for asking it. Electric cooperatives are power providers, just like Georgia Power, but they are not for-profit power providers. There are 41 separate EMCs in the state, and collectively, those 41 EMCs now serve half of Georgia's population. They were created in the early 1930s, primarily at that time to serve rural areas when other power providers would not serve those areas. So members of communities got together and formed these cooperatives, and 100 years later, they're still serving customers, in their areas and providing safe and reliable power.
So you have these different EMCs. Does that make it more difficult when you have these weather situations happen? Does it become tougher to try and repair and get people back on the grid?
No, actually quite the opposite. Because there are 41 of the EMCs and because they're located all over the state, they're in a position many times to go to the help of a sister co-op. So, like, for example, exactly what we're seeing here today, primarily the co-ops involved and are being impacted are in North Metro Atlanta and in the northern part of the state. In Middle Georgia and South Georgia, those areas have not been impacted. So what we're seeing is crews headed north, lots of crews headed north to help these co-ops. So I would say that the fact that there are so many of them is actually a benefit and an advantage to members.
Hey, Terry, I really appreciate the little history lesson about the EMC and about where we stand right now, where we're going, and what exactly EMCs are. I know I watch weather coverage all the time over the years, and I think a lot of people, and it's not a shot at some of the people that I've known or worked with, but you know, when you're new to Georgia and you really don't understand this whole role of what an EMC is and what role it plays as far as keeping people with their power. So thanks a lot, really appreciate it, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, thank you for your time.